Hello fellow riders. A biker friend of mine once asked me, what do water and bikes have in common? And when he saw that I didn't know what to say, he said, they are both sources of life, and to ride is to live. Reluctant biker here in the company of the Suzuki TU250X. I purchased this bike a few weeks ago and I have been riding it almost every day for hours at a time. In this video I will share with you my impressions of the bike so far and give you some idea of the power, comfort and other general details of the bike. And in my next video I will explain why I chose this as my first bike, and we'll also go over some of the shortcomings of the bike. So stay tuned and please leave a comment if you have any specific questions or feedback for me. All feedback is welcome. Let's begin with the general specs. A standard motorcycle, Suzuki TU250, is considered by many an entry-level bike, and this is no small part due to its 249cc engine, which though small, it's very modern. It is single-cylinder, air-cooled, but also fuel-injected engine. Has electric starter, but also a chain drive system, which we'll talk about it later. Fuel capacity. With a 3.2 gallons in fuel capacity, the bike is very economical in terms of fuel consumption. At 80 miles per gallon, this bike gets the best mileage out there, even better than some scooters, really. That is at least, according to the book. Now, I think that assessment is a little bit too optimistic. Though I haven't measured it accurately, in my assessment the bike does not get me more than 70 miles per gallon in the beleaguered, traffic-packed streets of New York City, where at the end of each block there is a light. Now let's talk about the speed and power. The TU250X has a 5-speed transmission, and changing the gears is effortless once you get the hang of it, because like with all bikes, they learn to respond better once they get to know you, and vice versa. On the book, this bike boasts a top speed of 75 miles per hour, has low end torque, which makes it to a great extent ideal for city riding. Now, translated into English for those not well versed into torque language, including myself, that basically means that it responds quickly on lower revs. That is true, but only to a certain extent. And as far as top speed goes, I've never taken it to the really top speed. I've taken it on a highway once, and I did not get anywhere near the 75 miles per hour, but I know people who have. Now let's talk about brakes. The bike has a single disc brake in the front, but the rear is a drum brake. The rear brake works okay, but you always want to use both just in case, and never rely on the rear one alone. If you use just one, then let it be the front, since it employs 75% of the total stopping power of both brakes. In terms of ergonomics and comfort, now being a standard bike, it has a straight up riding position, which is great for comfort, really. The two-piece seat makes it possible to carry a passenger without being overly cramped, like in some other standard bikes such as the Ducati Scrambler, which happens to be a much beloved bike. People speak greatly of it, but the seat, I do think, the seat, it's not really made for two people. Regarding the seat height, at 30.3 inches tall, most riders can easily flat-foot it. I'm 5'10" and I have no problem flat-footing the bike, although although at times the foot pegs do seem to get in the way of my feet, bumping into them ever so often. The bike does feel light, and it does so for a reason. It weighs just 326 pounds with the 3.2 gallon fuel tank filled to the brim. So that's 326 pounds wet. In terms of suspension is so-so, somewhere in the middle, depending where you're coming from. In the front, it has a non-adjustable telescopic fork, and in the rear, it has a preload adjustable twin shocks. In short, very basic suspension. The size of both tires, though, adds significantly to the comfort and stability of the bike. Both the front and rear tires are 18 inches, but the front is 90 by 90 and the rear one is 110 by 90. They do their job very well, especially in my city where streets are decorated with varied potholes, just like Jackson Pollock's paintings with colorful dots. It's as if they were designed by a very mad artist. Finally, if you're a rider like, a rider much like me, you begin to take comfort in little things in bikes. In this case, I really appreciate the helmet lock on this bike. What a gift. Besides the helmet lock, why else did I buy this bike? Well, let's take a ride to find out, shall we?